Good evening, everyone. This is Eliani Campbell, the founder and the creator of the PhoenixUnleashed.com. Thank you again for joining us. Tonight I have with me Alissa Vann. Alissa is the owner and the artist of Sweet Art Candy located in Kansas City, Missouri. Basically, sweet candy, according to Alissa, is candy that you can, an art, let me get this right. Sweet art candy is art that you can eat, basically. Right. Well, Alissa, you can tell us more about it. First of all, welcome to the PhoenixUnleashed.com, and I really, really appreciate you taking time out of your busy, busy schedule. We talked about life and things that we normally have to do, our everyday things, and I want to thank you for taking time to join me here at the Phoenix. How are you?
Fine. Thank you for extending your offer and having me on. It's a pleasure.
You are so welcome. I guess I want to get into it and just ask, well, first of all, obviously you're a candy, I said connoisseur, but can you first of all tell me about the woman behind Sweet Art Candy? Who is Alissa Vann?
Alissa is a mom, a very busy, caring, loving, fun, laid-back, happy-go-lucky, just cool kind of girl. I have a drawing and a calling to be in, like social studies and social work, I should say, and customer service and things which help people enrich their lives and be better and get greater things out of their existence. So that's really who I am. So everything I kind of do in some way, shape, or form goes back to that main idea and that main concept of who I am.
Okay. Now, as for Sweet Art Candy, I've seen the candy doll heads, but you've taken this art of candy thing way beyond that. I've seen where you make guitars, SpongeBob's, purses, everything, you name it. Where did you get the idea of Sweet Art Candy? Where did that come from?
That came from, I attended a baby shower and made one of the diaper cakes for a friend of mine. And there was a friend of hers that was there, and she said, hey, I'm having a girls' night type of deal. Do you think you can make a cake of some sort, but out of, like Hershey bars, a little wrapped chocolate? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I did. She loved it. And then the next thing was we had a Secret Santa deal at work, and on the questionnaire it asked some of, the favorite things. What are your favorite food, favorite candy, drink, colors, things like that. And so I went on to make something out of candy, and then it just kind of, every time I wanted to give somebody a gift or to recognize them, it reverted back to candy. So after people would see the gifts that were given, we'd get really excited and really intrigued about it, and just word of mouth, someone would call and say, hey, can you do this, can you do that? And that's how it was born. And what I do is kind of, air quotes, interview the person or the person giving the gift and find out who are you giving it to. Tell me a little bit about them. What's their favorite candy? What's their favorite color? Their hobbies? Is it a job? Is it an occasion? And then from there, I just kind of build a piece of art from it. And I go to the store, I buy candy by the cartloads, and just things you can buy off the shelf. Nothing that I make, nothing special or fancy, just the basic off the shelves in a bag candy. And based on that concept and that idea of what this person wants to give a gift to, I build it from there. And then when they get it, it's something very unique and guarantee they haven't seen it before. I pride myself on doing something that has never been seen before. And usually that'll be something that not only creates a remembrance for me, but the person that gave the gift, the occasion for which they received it, the people that were there. It's just something that will truly be embedded in their memory and in their brain about this particular gift that they received.
Okay. So your gifts are really personable. Could I come to you and kind of give you an idea of what I want? You can just go from there?
Yes. So if you tell me my son is having a 10th birthday party, having a 10th birthday, and I want to get him something. Okay, well, does he like sports, or does he like basketball? Does he like video games? What shows? What, type of things like that. And from there, I kind of build it up, and then what's his favorite candy and things like that. So although I do make, what I would call generic, which is not made specifically for one person, but I do kind of make everything custom, because that's the niche of what I do, is making it specialty, and especially for one person, or a group, or whether it be an event. Somebody may want something to set as a centerpiece, or to set on the welcome table, or on the dessert table, things like that.
Okay, that sounds really good. I like that. Now, I have a question. Did I once see that you made a dress out of candy, out of white Lifesavers?
Yes, you did.
That dress was so awesome.
Thank you. And I get a lot of compliments on that. That was for a bridal show I participated in as a vendor. And so I wanted something that was going to have such an amazing wow factor that would really stand out. Not, the typical little, they're kind of big things, but this is something that's going to make somebody say, hey, remember we went to that show and saw that? That's the effect that I was going for. So it took me, once I came up with the idea, it took me about 3 days to complete that, because I hand-placed each and every one, and I promise I probably went through about 6 big bags of Lifesavers. And after it was done, you do the head nod, and it's like, yeah, that's it.
I'm curious, how did you do that? Did you actually cut out a pattern, or how did you do that?
I got a mannequin, and I actually went and bought clothes for her and just kind of cut it up and made it fit. I kind of had to do some architectural and, things to it, and then just placed them on there, lined them up, and glued them on.
Okay, you know what's going to happen? Someone is going to call you up and ask you to make a dress that they can actually wear. And
I've been getting those requests.
Okay.
So, I tell them, when you're ready, call me, and I can do it, because I'm sure that would, be to the likings of doing something what a seamstress would do, doing the fittings and all of that, and I'd be willing to do that.
Okay. Now, in addition to running your business, you and I were talking about this earlier before we started the interview. You have your regular daytime job. You're raising your family. Some people would have grown tired by now and just given up. I want to know what keeps you going, what gives you your drive to, deal with just life, and then also, the dream of your business.
What keeps me going is to set an example for not only my children, but for other women, other people that may say, hey, I have this idea about something I want to do, just something that they like to do, a craft, a hobby, a gift, a passion or something, but, I've got this going on, I've got that going on, I just can't find the time. And I remember a quote that Oprah said is, find your passion. Once you find something that you truly enjoy, that you can lose yourself in, that if I were to do this and, say not get rich from it, of course I want to make money from it, but if I were to do this and not get paid, I would still enjoy it the same. So instilling that work ethic and that value, and having my children see that you can do it all. There is no room for excuses to say, well, I don't have enough time. Well, I've got this, I've got that, because it can be done. You just have to want it bad enough and want to do it bad enough and find a way. So that's what really keeps me going. And then when I make something and give it to somebody, and to see that initial expression is just priceless. Or, once I get pictures, people send me pictures of whoever they gave it to posing with it, and to hear, the response, and that makes it worth it for me, is to say, okay, I brought joy to somebody's life, even if it's just for a few moments. Because once I tear it apart, eat it, it's gone. But, just to know that I made a difference in somebody's life and brought a smile to their face, even if for just a few minutes, it's worth it.
Okay, so you do believe that you have found your passion?
I do. I've spent years from junior high doing photography. Did from weddings to portraits to many, many, many things for many years. Even worked in a photo lab and all that. And I just knew that was my passion. But you can get a photographer a dime a dozen. I mean, that is something that, okay, it is a craft. It is something that you have to learn. You just can't pick up and do it, although many people think they can. It is something that there's an abundance of photographers. This, you don't see anybody doing it. There may be, candy bouquets or certain genres of the candy, thing going on, but there's nothing out there like this. So it's kind of like, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? And this is it, is to, like I said, bring that joy and that happiness to other people.
Yeah, that's what like I said, you've taken it to a whole nother level. I've seen they would take the little Tootsie Rolls and stick the pins in it and on the doll heads, and it was cute, but I've never seen anything like this at all. So that this is truly a gift, because like I said, I've never seen this, and I'm sure others will come behind you and maybe attempt to do what you're doing.
Right. And as with art, it's all about, it's in the eye of the beholder. So people having a vision inside their head and being able to bring it to fruition and something tangible that others can see is, I think that goes along with whether it's being a painter, whether it's being a musician, whether it's being an architect, or, whatever that thing is just thinking outside of the box and making it work. Because, I look at, say a basketball player, that's an art form. It's like, how can you stand at half court and shoot and make it? I don't get that, but that's their art. That's their gift. Right. So I guess this is mine.
Okay, and we know, and you know what your passion is, but and many times we know what our passion is, we know what our gift is, but sometimes fear will stop us from going for what we want. Have you had any issues with fear, or has that stopped you?
All the time. All the time. When I really got serious about turning this into a business was when I got laid off from my corporate job. And so, it's like, basically my income was immediately cut in. About 3/4 of my income was gone. And so I had to figure out, okay, my bills don't stop. Kids still need their things. So I was like, okay, well, this seems to be a good thing. Let me see what I can do with it. And getting a lot of pushback and resistance to a lot of people saying, well, we want healthy choices. America is already obese and unhealthy and fat, and I'm thinking, nobody's really going to buy this. And, once I started doing research and statistics and seeing, that the candy industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, I'm looking at the sales from Valentine's Day alone, people spending $16.7 million just on Valentine's candy alone, on top of Halloween, Easter, all of these big candy holidays. I'm like, well, yeah, people do. And then when I think about mothers, that want to do the big wow thing for their kids' birthday and stuff like that. So I just kept thinking, nobody's really going to buy this. And I kept trying to talk myself out. I was like, well, so what if they don't? I'll just, keep pressing. Somebody will, because, they always are buying candy, and people are always giving gifts, so let me just find it. And then every new venture that I take, like, appearing on the local television stations. Absolutely mortified. But, when I think about the end result. Okay, what will this bring to me? And keeping my eye on the big picture, and that alleviates that fear.
Okay, so that takes all the fear away, and that's good that you admit, and we all know that we have fear, but you don't let that stop you. You work through that fear. Everyone can't say that. Yeah, you work through it. But now that you have your niche, you know what your niche is, you know what your gift is, you know what your passion is, and you're getting paid for your passion. What's in the future for Sweetheart Candy? Where are you headed? Where do you want to head?
Whoa. Even as of, say, a month and a half ago, if you would have asked me that very question, I would have said, well, I'm cool just doing what I do. If I stay local, internet sales, word of mouth, I'm cool with that. I just want to be able to make enough, sell enough to pay my bills, so that I can make a living. I'm not trying to live in an extravagant lifestyle and, be a big baller, but I just want to pay my bills. And then the opportunity to open up a storefront came about very quickly. And I had said, this is not something that I want to do because the expenses, the overhead, and everything that comes along with that, I just don't want it. But, the higher powers that be was like, put it in place to where that kind of wasn't a major issue and that wasn't a big enough deterrent to stop me from going that route. So that's why I'm, headed in and doing the storefront. So at this point, I don't know, because like I said, I was just content in the place that I was, but, things keep coming my way that are broadening the horizons for what Sweetheart Candy can do. So I don't know, maybe at some point will it be, hiring employees, being a national something? I have no idea.
You know what? God has so much more in plan for you than you envision for yourself, like I can talk. But you sound like me when you say I don't need to make a lot of money. I just need to pay some bills, have a little extra. But it seems like he has more planned for you than just extra. I think he plans on you having an overabundance. I don't know where this is coming from. I guess this is the Lord speaking. It's not me. But that's what that is. I mean, I don't want to, and we're not going to use the word selling, but I see that there are so many things on the horizon for you. I mean, truly, because like you said, no one else is doing this, and the word is going to get out, and it's going to get in the hand. I can just see it getting in the hands. And you've heard Eliani Campbell say this. People that are listening, I can see this getting in the hands and getting to someone like Oprah or someone else, or like you say, Ellen DeGeneres, and it just blows up. Remember I said that on, what's today, January 23rd, 2013? Eliani Campbell said that.
All righty. And I truly feel, I truly receive that and understand that because there would be times where I really wanted to move forward and kind of take big steps and go after big things, and then when it didn't happen like and when I wanted it to, would kind of get frustrated and kind of pull back. But I understand that's part of the process. During those down times is when I learned business things, getting business procedures, plans, and structures in place so that if it took off when I wanted it to, I probably at some point, maybe, before now, would have crashed and burned with it. So I realize things don't happen when we want them to. They happen when they're supposed to. So when I see things not excelling or not clicking like I want them to, I'm like, okay, I take the time to really absorb, to look around, to see what it is, talk to people, get the message, learn the lesson that I'm supposed to. And I know when I have received that, that's when the next thing happens and manifests and comes about. And then I'll get to that kind of stagnant, slow phase and, again, go through that process. So in doing that, I'm steadily climbing and increasing So I think that's part of it as well. I'm doing all this and learning all this so that when Oprah calls, I will be, on point to handle that.
Okay, I have one last question before we end.
Okay.
What advice would you give? What advice would you give to a person with dreams of becoming an entrepreneur?
I would say it takes endurance like no other. In comparison to, I would say, childbirth. Almost like you have to have that passion, you have to have that drive, you have to have that determination, that persistence, that mindset that you can get through it. Because a lot of people want immediate success, and when they don't see that manifest, they tap out and quit. And not understanding that it is a process that, for a successful business, for a business to become truly successful or showing that it can make it, is 5 years. Most people, if they don't see that within a year or so, they're ready to quit. And being able to take constructive criticism, a lot of people can't handle that. And I take what I can. I may not take the whole message, but if there's a little tidbit of information from it, then that mindset has brought me a whole lot of information and people and things that will help me grow business. So those are some of the key things that I would say. As an entrepreneur, you have to have that support system as well. Because if you have a unwilling spouse, or you have kids that are demanding of your time, or say you have a day job that is demanding of your time that really isn't supportive of your efforts, then people tend to get frustrated, burn out, and kind of not willing to truly go hard with it and pursue it. So those are some of the things I would speak to.
Okay, Alissa, again, I thank you so much for taking time to be with me tonight and for joining our listeners here at thephoenixunleashed.com. You all need to check this sister out. She is talented. She can be reached on Facebook and other places. I need to take a look at her beautiful creations and place your orders. Alissa, can you tell us where we can reach you, where you can be found?
Yes, you can reach me at facebook.com/sweetartcandy. That's SWEETART Candy. You can find me on Twitter at @sweetartcandy. Email at sweetartscandy. That's art with the S, candy @gmail.com. And my website is sweetartcandy.net. So any of those, you can find a way to get in contact with me.
Okay, Alissa, again, thank you for taking time to visit.
Thank you.
Unleashed. I really enjoyed this conversation. Everything
Likewise.
you said is uplifting, and the conversation we had earlier was uplifting. We're talking about life and just doing what we got to do, just making it work.
Exactly. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, until next time, I'm Eliani Campbell, the creator and the founder of thephoenixunleashed.com. Have a great one. Be blessed, be safe, and continue to unleash your phoenix. And don't forget, have a good one. Bye-bye.